Hello, good people of the world. This is Damian from OK Go, and I was just telling a story about how we played this show in Providence, Rhode Island, and there wasn't really a dressing room. It was this tiny club. Providence, for some reason, has lost all their good rock clubs, so this was the only place to play. And it was like packed, and there were no dressing rooms, and so I wanted to like change and get ready for the show and everything. So we finally got them to let us like into their like back kind of office beer closet kind of space, and we get back there, and there's a little table, not unlike the one we were sitting at here in the dressing room of the Horseshoe Tavern, with a, like, you know, single bulb over it and everything. And there's all these refrigerators around and like carbonation tanks for their beer and stuff like that. And this dude just sitting at the table, like very, very clearly on a lot of heroin. Like the guy was just like kind of like weaving around with his head and his eyes. He'd like kind of like flip out at things and then like kind of like normal out again. And I sat there for half an hour doing like vocal warm ups, and like I was kind of sick at the time, so I had this like face steamer thing. And a friend was sitting in there with me, and the guy didn't even seem to notice that we were there. It was like insane.
That's weird. Although things like that aren't strange to me anymore. Like is that a strange story to you?
Well, a little bit. No, but what was strange about it was that the guy later turned out to be like a friend of the owner. The reason they'd stuck him in there was like his pal. Right. And it's just kind of weird when you're in a club and they're like, oh yeah, my friend's all smacked out. I put him in the back room.
Yeah,
you know?
No, it's definitely a weird thing.
Like having a smacked out dude at a club is scary and weird, but not that uncommon. But having him be like kind of part of the establishment, we go back there later and he's playing cards with the owner and the bouncer and all these different people. And still apparently all weirded out. Like I can't figure out how he even knew the other people were there, because he definitely didn't know I was in the room when I was there.
Poor smacked out guy.
Poor smacked out dude.
You say it's not that uncommon. What kind of crazy shit have you seen on the road?
Oh man, I've seen like midgets caught on fire, and I've seen
that doesn't seem that uncommon to me.
No. Again, I mean that's you know that's sort of par for the course these days. But
you're not supposed to call them midgets anymore. I think it's little people.
Little people. Well, I've seen very little people on fire.
You're definitely not supposed to light them on fire either.
No, you're not.
Part of the reason it's so common around here is that
surprise to me.
Tim is the one who lights them on fire. So that's the problem, is that it's common around our tour because Tim keeps lighting them on fire.
Right.
He's got a problem. Tim, as you know, isn't the tallest guy himself, and so he's got kind of the small man complex where anybody who's smaller than he is, he just wants to really screw with them.
Yeah. I want to be the start. If I'm going to be small, I want to be the start of the small.
Yeah, it just sort of eradicates everything smaller.
Right.
Should have seen what he used to do, like dogs and cats and stuff like that. We got him to stop that in high school.
Pets, be good to animals. That's my motto.
Yeah, well, it wasn't before. Before we were 15 or so. But
now that Damian's taught me a lot of things in life. One of them is to be good to animals.
Take a lot of pride in what I've done for Tim.
All right, we'll start the show off with a song, new single, Do What You Want.
It rocks so gosh darn hard.
Yeah. Tori Johansson, not really sure how to pronounce it.
Johansson. Mm-hmm.
Franz Ferdinand's producer, Cardigan's producer. You guys worked with him. How'd you hook up with him? Why in Sweden did you work? Explain that whole thing.
He wouldn't come to America.
He wouldn't come to America.
He has a 4-year-old daughter that he doesn't want to leave. Yeah.
It's really sweet. We also didn't really want him to come to America. We didn't push him hard because, I mean, if you had the option of working in LA for 2.5 months or in Sweden for 2.5 months, you'd pick Sweden too. Unless you're the kind.
Or in Canada, it's cool.
LA has a lot of warmth, but it also has a lot of record industry people, and they're terrible for music. They're really good. They're good for distributing music. They're good for, they're good for lots of things. They make great kindling, that kind of stuff. But they're really bad for making a good record, because they come in and they want to tell you about how they think that they've got all these ideas about how you're going to write a hit. Like, it'd be a hit as long as we got Nora Jones to sing the back drum, the backbeat for you. Just got to get Nora Jones beatboxing in the back. Whole thing, this thing's gonna be a hit single.
And they're old people from Brooklyn too.
They are, strangely. I'm actually, you're right about that. You think that I'm joking because I mean, obviously, so far in this interview we've mostly been lying, but this is not a lie.
So midgets lighting on fires, that's not true.
Oh no, that was true.
That is true, actually. Yeah.
But that wasn't most of the interview, right? That was just one little bit of
very short portion.
Little bit of truth. They're all the people who head record labels, all the people in the sort of like top few tiers of record labels are these crazy cowboys, and a lot of them are from Brooklyn for some reason, or from New York at least. And it's because nobody really works their way up these companies. Like it's you kind of work up to a certain respectable level, and that's where you end as a career record label person. The people who sit at the top like fall out of airplanes into these seats. Like they have to be just insane. They have to be people with like this absurd ambition and like a completely cutthroat mentality. That, like, they're really, really insane people. So the only people who have those jobs, much like people who, for instance, start fast food chains or anything. I mean, like they're just like these charismatic, insane, wild cowboys, basically. And they do all happen to be from New York.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the question was. Tori.
Yes.
Oh, right. Sweden.
Like in Sweden.
Cold and wet.
Dark.
Full of hot people.
No, that's what I picture. Hot
Yeah.
and guys that say,
We
I want
spent-
to pump you up.
They're not all blonde.
Really?
Some are brunette.
There's a lot of brunettes.
Yeah.
But they're all hot.
Yes.
That's the thing. Is you think you're going to go and fall in love with all these blonde bombshells, but you fall in love with bombshells of both types of hair. There's no redheads there. So it's really just brunettes and blondes.
That is true.
And not all the guys are hot, but everybody is smart. And it seems like, I mean, really, the whole country is smart because they have socialized education. So everybody goes to school till they're like 45, and they all know like 15 languages. You'll like bring out some like obscure band that you like from 1974, and they can like tell you the entire history because they're not only smart about academia, they just study everything.
Yeah.
They study everything.
They're all
amazing.
pretty healthy as well.
Socialized medicine, Tim.
Yeah.
They pay high taxes, though. All that schooling and medicine, it
It's
costs a lot.
expensive in Sweden.
It's expensive, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah,
they got a
I
good
think so,
lifestyle
too.
over there.
You guys ever moved there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know Swedish.
They've got a great quality of life there.
Would you record the next record there, do you think?
Yes.
For sure.
If we are able to, yes.
With Tor again?
Yeah, I would love to record with Tor again. Tor basically decided that he wanted to stop making records for other bands, though. He decided he just wanted to make his own records. He apparently decided this shortly before he decided to record our record, so we were very lucky to get in there, and we'll see if we can get in there again.
He also has a great team, like a great production team as well.
Yeah.
In Malmo, where we worked.
Yeah, great people.
Who I would also love to work with.
I'd work with just the Lindegard family, for instance.
Yeah.
Petter and Jens Lindegard. They're crazy. I mean, they're as crazy as their name sounds, and they're geniuses.
They play in a band called the Mopeds.
The Mopeds. They also both play in
and
gospel.
Oh, gospel.
And they have a band called Damn. They have a band called The Gospel. They have a band called The Mopeds. And their horn trio has a name too, but I can't remember what
I
it's
can't
called.
remember what it is. Yeah, but they're great horn
I
players.
don't even know what fact or fiction anymore is.
No, this is all
Swear
fact.
to God.
This is all fact.
Petter and Jens Lindegard.
Petter and Jens Lindegard. And there's David Carlson, who works with them also, but isn't related to them.
And Marco
Marco Manieri.
Manieri.
He's Italian, but he lives in Sweden.
Yeah.
And then Sebastian. We don't know
Arts,
Sebastian's.
I think is his last name.
Arts.
Arts.
I never knew that.
ARTZ. Yeah.
He is the only person who works at the studio didn't work on our record. This is not interesting to your listeners, is it?
Sure, why not?
And that's a whole bunch of
Off the
Swedish
record.
people of the world. That's a whole bunch of Swedish people for you.
Let's talk about the new record.
All right.
First record, you guys had dozens of guitars, harmonies left, right, and center. This one's a lot more raw. Why did you guys decide to do that way?
Well, basically, I think of our first record as being kind of like a studio project. It was really a very indulgent kind of kid in the candy store production. We picked songs that we had written over the past 20 years. I mean, it was things that Tim and I had written together for years and years and years.
How long have you guys known each other?
We've known each other now for 18 years.
18 years.
Oh, wow.
Not when we were 11 and 12.
Yeah. You just gave away our ages.
Sorry.
Tim doesn't like anyone to know that he's only 16.
Yeah.
So we had all these songs that we'd written together, and we basically went into the studio and just played and played and played and played, and we kind of crammed every last space full of hooks and noodles and bells and whistles and that kind of stuff. And we really liked it at the time, but for our second record, we wanted to make something that felt more like a band, that was really more representative of our band. So we basically decided to do the whole thing with a very limited sonic palette. We just gave ourselves one drum sound, one bass sound, a few different like selections of amplifiers, but we really kind of recorded everything live. There was no click tracks and the whole thing. We just wanted something that had the sort of like raw energy of our live show.
Yeah, this new record's a lot more like sonically spacious, I think.
And the thing is, I think it actually comes out a lot big. Like it seems a lot bigger and more rockin' because it's not. You don't have a million things fighting for your attention all the time.
Reminds me of Zeppelin record, actually.
Yes.
Wow.
Awesome. That's wow.
Thank you.
No problem. That's what I heard my go. Anyway, let's play a song off the record. Anything off anyone? What do you guys want to hear?
Well, if he said Zeppelin, we got to go something loud. Let's do Invincible.
Cool. The opening track to the record.
Opening track to the record.
Why? It's got sweet words. Well, it's very hard.
Thank you. It's not particularly Zeppelinish, but it is loud and it is pretty harsh.
Yeah.
And it is about an evil ex-girlfriend saving the world.
The new guitar player Andy, old guitar player Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is that his real name, or is it actually Rusty?
It is actually his real name.
Still the same person. I'm lying. That's a lie.
See, Tim. See, that's the part of the interview where Tim's lying.
That's the part where
He's not the same guy. Yeah. He's a whole new Andy, and his name actually is Andy. We called him Rusty simply to differentiate him from the old Andy, because we thought that Rusty was the kind of name that might insult him, and he'd feel bad about it, you know. And the key thing with any new band member is to demean them and belittle them for as long as you can. And so we still don't let him look at us a lot of the time.
No.
He never eats with us, you know. And whenever he's trying to, whenever he gets really upset and is trying to make a point, we make fun of him.
Right, and we always, the three of us always, the drummer Damian and I all refer to ourselves as the original members.
Yeah. Like he had to ask today whether or not he was allowed to have the cookies, for instance, that fans gave to the band.
Right.
Kind of okay, some of this is actually a lie. I'm going to admit that now, going forward, because I realized that we were having trouble earlier with fact and fiction. We're really nice to Andy Ross because Andy Ross is a really wonderful guy. The reason we wound up with another Andy was pure coincidence. But he likes the best thing about our new guitarist, aside from his fantastic musical skills, is that he likes being on the road. And our old Andy, musical genius though he was, hated touring, and so he was like, for the first week of tour, everyone would be in a pretty good mood, and the second week of tour, it was all right. You know, by week 3, he's getting pretty grumpy, and everybody else are trying to not be too grumpy with him. You know, and by year 2, it's like people are like kind of shaking with anxiety. You know, so everything is it's just a lot calmer and more exciting for us since everybody is now enjoying being on the road. Do you think this interview can be heard over soundcheck upstairs? Good. People of the world, that's the soundcheck upstairs.
The show's called The Backstage Pass. So kind of
really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
You want to know the truth?
What's that?
We don't have backstage passes. We never made a laminate for this tour.
That's too bad.
Isn't that weird?
But he's still got a pass to get backstage.
Do you have a pass?
I mean like a verbal pass to get backstage.
Yeah, like a verbal contract to get him back here, but there's not a. I want to see like a little sticky thing on your pant leg or something, you know. All right.
Cool.
We have laminates from the Rufus Wainwright tour that we were just on. We could use those.
That makes no sense to me. Why are you on the tour with Rufus? Like, it's a completely different kind of music.
Yeah, but there's a similar sense of melody or something. Like his fans all like us, and our fans all like him. It is really great. I think sometimes that when bands are too similar, it makes for a kind of bad show because you just sort of feel like you're getting 4 hours of the same thing or something, you know? Like some of my favorite shows are when there's a little bit of, you know, when you're getting a few different things so that you don't get bored of being at a rock show.
I always loved like Scooby-Doo when they had like a guest star on it, you know, like when the Harlem Globetrotters came on or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Same general idea for me with the Muppets.
Yes, right.
You know, they're so good at keeping it moving. Then you got Oscar the Grouch being grouchy. All of a sudden you got count. You got the count. He's counting.
Right.
You know, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is counting, but it's not the count.
Right, and then in walks Mark Hamill from Star Wars.
Right, and in comes Mark Hamill before he got deformed.
Right, to really mix things up.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's how a rock show should feel, I think.
That's entertainment.
Yeah. And also, we are also huge fans of Rufus Wainwright, and I mean, as are a lot of folks. And he's a personal friend, and he just, you know, he's only doing 5 shows in the States, so he offered us 4 of them, and we took them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rufus.
Thanks, Rufus.
You guys moved out to? Have you moved out to LA too? I know you did.
Yeah.
The 2 of us live in LA now. Andy Ross lives in LA. Dan Konopka lives in New York City. So we no longer have any real roots in Chicago, which makes me feel a little ashamed.
Have you guys ever been to a bar called The Funk in Chicago?
No.
So I went there, and it was a cool place.
The Funk? There's a place called the Funky Buddha.
No, just Funk.
No? Okay.
And it's the cleanest city in the world.
Chicago?
Yeah. There were guys coming off garbage trucks to pick off little pieces of dirt on the road. It was ridiculous.
Man.
Chicago.
Yeah, were you in a very, very rich part of Chicago? Oh, yeah, downtown is pretty clean.
Downtown
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
The rest of Chicago is not very clean. No.
It's not that clean, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's not like disgusting or anything.
I mean, Toronto. Now there's a clean city.
Toronto is a clean city.
Yeah.
So,
no.
Do you guys think it's clean?
But again, we almost always stay downtown and play downtown.
Right.
Yeah.
So I haven't spent a lot of time in the parts of the city that might be nastier.
Fair enough.
How long have you lived in Toronto?
I don't live in Toronto.
Where do you live?
Kitchener, an hour west of here.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Well, he's got in town. Look at that. People at home, just play by play here. He said he lived an hour outside of Toronto, and then Tim said, like, get out of town. I don't need to explain why that's funny, do I? People, come on.
I hope not.
All right.
Let's play another song.
Okay.
Million Ways.
A Million Ways. Here it goes.
Most downloaded video on the internet.
That's true. Apparently, that is now the most downloaded video of all time. That's
Of
what I'm
all
told.
time.
Yeah.
Is it for real?
Online, yeah, most downloaded apparently.
You guys did one for Cinnamon Lips. How do you guys say that song name? Do you just call it Cinnamon Lips?
It's 3 C's. Cinnamon Lips. Yeah. 3 C's, right? I haven't said it in a long time.
Yeah. That we don't call it by its name that frequently, but I think when we do, it is called Cinnamon Lips.
Is there going to be a dance song in every single record?
Hard to say. Probably. On this record, there may even be more than one, which could suggest that there will be an increasing number of dances per album. Although that there's sort of a finite number of dances one can have on a 13-song album. But maybe we'll just start having albums with like 48 songs, so we can have 48 dances. I don't know.
Speaking of 48, just long things. The bonus track. What's
Bonus track.
About? Why is it 30 minutes?
It's a big secret. No, I will tell you, I have already accidentally released part of the information about it. The truth is that it is a 34 and some odd minute recording of my girlfriend sleeping.
Is it really?
Yes, but I can't tell you. I can't tell you why it's on there. I will tell you that it has very little to do with my relationship to my girlfriend. Everybody's got all these ideas about how it's like I lost a bet to her or something like that. And I'm not going to say they're wrong, but I'm not going to say they're right. And in fact, I'm going to say they're probably not right.
It's also not about my relationship with Damian's girlfriend either.
Well, once again, I'm not going to confirm or deny that, but but
All right.
I'll lean closer to confirming. Upstairs, by the way, right now you can hear the band The Populars sound checking behind us. That's The Populars.
And they're pretty popular.
So I hear. They're popular here in Canada, is what I'm told.
Yeah.
They're a can band, as we call them in the States, which means Canadian band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What Canadian bands are big in the States?
Sloan.
Well, right now, the Arcade Fire is huge, and deservedly huge. Hot Heat are big. Well, Rufus Wainwright, who is technically sort of a Canadian. He's half Canadian. He's got dual citizenship. Let's see, who else is big? Well, Leonard Cohen is a Canadian.
Yeah.
He's always been big in the States. Yeah, but he's like, I think, perhaps the best songwriter of our...
Oh, he's definitely...
Yeah,
Better than Dylan?
I prefer him to Dylan.
I do too.
I think his lyrics are as poignant as Dylan's, but I like his music more.
Yeah.
So puts him right over the edge for me. Right over the edge into sick, twisted genius land.
Alex Trebek is huge, but he's not a musician.
Well, he's not popularly known as a musician,
Yeah, right.
but he is good at the pan flute,
Right.
which is a little known fact, but true. Let's see, who else is big from Canada? There's
It's all good.
Oh, there's Death from Above.
Death from Above 1979 are doing pretty well. My ex-girlfriend's sister used to date one of those guys.
All right.
Yeah, so we used to hang out with them when we were in Toronto, but then they broke up with my ex-girlfriend's sister, so end of us hanging out with them in here. Oh, Metric, who are sort of a Canadian band. They're actually not big, but they're awesome. So let's put it that way. They're big in our van, but they're getting big in the States. Slowly.
In other people's vans.
They're getting big in other musicians' vans, and eventually they will take over the United States via van travel, or by van distribution of their music. That's what I'm going to say.
You guys dressed in suits now. Is this an all-time band? I know you guys were kind of a jeans and t-shirt kind of band before. Now
That was an accident. The jeans and t-shirt thing.
Yeah, and it got really boring.
It got really boring.
is it always suits? Or is it just on the road?
Well, I'm not technically in a suit right now.
Yeah.
Classier clothing.
Yeah, well, let's just put it this way: we're really into patterns right now, multiple patterns, and I don't know how long it'll last, but it's got a hold of me like a disease.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's play another song. You're So Damn Hot off the first record.
Here it comes. You're so damn hot.
It's played on the OC. Have you guys noticed the fame from the OC?
No. As a matter of fact, we haven't.
Not at all.
I didn't even know it had been played on the OC, but we have noticed a steady increase in people liking us, which is great. I didn't notice a particular bump from the OC, but we've had an incredible amount of luck with people playing our music in their TV shows and on movies and that kind of stuff. it's kept us alive, to tell you the truth. It's wonderful.
Cool. I heard you guys from that song downloaded off the OC. How do you guys feel about downloading? You think it's helped you or harmed you more?
Helped.
Helped, yeah.
As the most downloaded video artists of all time, we think it's great.
Yeah.
Would you rather people came out to a show or bought a CD?
I would prefer that they come to a show and buy a CD at the show.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
What's that?
If you can only pick one.
If I could only pick one, that's tough.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I would prefer to do a show.
I would prefer for someone to buy our CD.
You like that? You see how quickly we came up with that?
Yeah.
You did an audio play.
I'm still working on it. Well, well, I do what's called an audio blog, and right now the blog has turned into a play.
It's like an old-fashioned radio play.
Right. And
Tim is almost all of the characters.
Yeah, but I'm starting to bring in guest characters at this point, kind of like we were saying before, like in Scooby-Doo fashion or the Muppets or something like that.
Right.
And this first one's called The Delusional Delights of Bertie Abramowitz. And it's about a woman who's
woman named Bertie Abramowitz.
Yeah, a woman named Bertie Abramowitz who's under the delusion that she's a really famous writer, but really it's her son that's sort of tricking her into believing that.
And this is based on a true situation.
This is based on a true situation of someone in my family who went through a similar thing. Yeah, so I'm sort of like. I'm getting out a lot of family. I don't know, what do you call it? Like
you're basically using our fans as your psychologist.
Yeah, because we're on the road so much, I don't have time to like actually sit down with a real one. So
it's cool. I think your radio plays are fantastic.
Thank you, Damian. And at the end of every radio play, I ask people to bring us things to our show, and candy sculptures, underwear. You know,
clean underwear.
Clean underwear, of course.
Clean, unused underwear.
Yeah, drawings of the sky, things like that. Nice. And we collect them and take photographs of them and put them.
When you asked for drawings of the sky, did anyone bring you drawings of this guy?
This guy?
Yeah. Because everybody always talks about in the Jimi Hendrix song how "Excuse me while I kiss the sky." People think, "Hey, is he saying excuse me while I kiss this guy?" You see what you found?
Okay, I see where you're going with that. Yes, I will tell you. Yes, one person brought me a picture of
this guy.
This guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did it then have like his
thumbs were like pointing at him?
Really? This guy.
This guy.
The age-old joke. Who's got two thumbs and likes chocolate milk.
Right.
Say?
Right. And chocolate milk is in quotes for those of you who can't see us.
I was air quoting.
Yeah.
Let's play another song. Anything you guys want to hear off the first record?
First record? We hate the first record.
All right, the new record.
All right, we want to hear, I want to hear, this one's kind of like a mellow jam. I want to hear Oh Lately It's So Quiet.
All right, we do this thing every week on the show called 5 Questions, 5 quick questions, 1-word answers. iPod or CD?
iPod.
Lennon or McCartney?
Lennon.
Cool. Alcohol or marijuana?
Alcohol.
Song you've written you're most proud of?
Oh Lately It's So Quiet.
Let It Rain.
In 1 word, okay, go.
Okay.
Go.
Awesome. One more song. Close us out. What do you guys want to hear?
Well, since we didn't play it and you just said it was your favorite song, how about Let It Rain?
Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.